Hello,
we don't
everyone.
even need to adjust.
Hello, everyone. Today is an auspicious day because we're going to be finishing off episode 5 of Umineko. A scene that I've been looking forward to for quite a long time. Unfortunately, Con will be joining us in the stands today. Because she's having some microphone issues. But that's fine. We're gonna have a great session, because, like, there's gonna be a lot of yelling. I'm gonna be doing a lot of yelling. It's gonna be really fucking cool.
You sure are.
Mm-hmm. And let me just make sure I got my funny audio shit ready.
Headphone warnings.
Mm-hmm. Oh, don't worry, like, this microphone, sets it up in such a way that, like, however loud I get, it can compensate a little bit on, like, the audio end. Yeah.
May I make a request to put something down on the screen?
Yes!
I want you to post this real quick. Although,
Yeah,
maybe I
sure.
should edit that and make that battler.
You know what? Here, you know what? Here, we're gonna put up both what Rindy made and what Joshi made.
I did not make this. It's important. Someone else.
Okay, all right. Somebody else apparently made that. Hold on a second. Let me get it. Okay.
I love how the Catboy visual novel is stuck on 69.
Nice.
I
There we
am not
go.
that skilled. I'm not skilled enough to draw hair this good.
I wish I could draw fucking. I think the one thing that's holding me back from, like, actually grinding art is that I don't fucking know how to do hair. I swear to God.
You guys know how to draw?
Just make my hair just bald.
I think I found like a good short tutorial on how to make hair. Do you want to see if I can find it?
Listen,
Sure, yeah.
Yuichi barely knows how to make hair. Don't let that stop you.
Exactly. I just feel like that, that's like the missing puzzle piece that I need. Like,
I mean,
once
have you
once
seen how Jotaro's hat works?
Oh yeah, I wish I could draw Jotaro's hat.
It doesn't.
It might not even be a hat. The way
No,
he
it is a
draws
hat.
it looks like it's a visor that fuses into his hair.
I would also like to thank Umineko.
Like, it doesn't have a back.
Mm-hmm.
I'd
Alrighty
also like to
then.
thank Umineko Twitter for somehow gassing my fucking tweet about smiley friends.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Joshi.
Just come back 80, 90 likes, go, okay, that blew up.
Look at you. Don't forget us when you're famous.
Yeah.
I probably won't.
My most recent tweet, regrettably, did not get gassed like I wanted it to. Cannot believe that nobody wants to hear Marketplace say, "Bring my piece of that Kit War."
Alright, I found the tutorial. It's in fine art for you, Orange.
Ah, thank you.
Pizza just a sec, says Noir.
Okay. Well, we don't really need no more for the beginning of this. From my recollection, whatever.
We don't.
No, I think
I think it's gonna be me and Rindy, but I'm wondering if I should use the restroom now or
It's
just
going
wait.
to be
probably for the best.
Mhm.
Rindy and Orange, I believe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh wait, are you actually gonna wait for me? Oh, okay.
Wait, are we waiting for something?
No, I'm just unloading the game up.
Ah.
Oh, my water ball's across the room.
Man, I really hope my DoorDasher doesn't have to call me to see where my apartment is.
Man, I got a notification session. It was being the world. How the fuck do you get a notification at 4:30 a.m.? Fucking.
Where the fuck did I put my goddamn audio? There we go. Alright. Oh, don't
Yeah.
start. Don't you dare start that. No.
I do hate being in an inconvenient area for DoorDashers to find.
Oh god, I have to lower you. Holy shit.
Lower me.
Oh yeah, no, it's just like
And
you
I'm
went like right
I'm
into your
back.
mic. Alright, cool, wow, perfect timing. Alrighty then. So let's go ahead and get into the game. Oh yeah.
Boy, that's what we're waiting for. That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
baby.
buddy.
Don't you do that? Don't you ever start that yet? No. Okay. Capture specific window, not Elgato sound capture.
Orange
There we go.
captures his
Mhm.
Monster Hunter Rise game that he's playing while also doing this.
All right. Okay, everybody, get in here for the tea party.
Spill that tea.
Yeah. Is everybody
Hope
good?
she made
Are we
lots of
popping?
spaghetti.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 people who aren't in here on the Discord stream. Get in here now!
You should be in here now. Where's Bone?
Huh?
You're not in the stream.
Phonography, you're needed.
Oh shit! Right. I had the Twitch up on the other monitor, and I thought that was the stream.
Wait, hold on a second. Ooh. Oh, holy shit, was Discord not on? What the fuck? Is it not getting... Oh, wait, oh, that's right. Oh, wait. Okay, no, I'm stupid. Hold on.
Do 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 do.
The audio should get fucked up again. It's not picking up any... oh god, I hope the last goddamn stream is okay. Oh, I think I know what's happening. Hold on a second.
Oh, thank God, the DoorDasher is approaching in the correct area.
Okay, cool. Alright. Okay, there's no problem with, the only problem with the fucking audio capture, give me just 1 second, is... Alright, headphones. Oh, wait, that's why. Okay. Wavelength system. There we go. Okay. Also, stop setting my fucking... I hate that, what is it, my computer sets it so, like... Whenever I plug in my PS5 controller, it assumes that that's the input device I want for my microphone. There we go. Okay, cool. We should... Yep, okay, good. We're good now. Thank God. I thought the entirety of the last stream didn't have audio, and that would have been very concerning. Alright. So, alright. For realsies, though, let's start this time. Tea Party, Episode 5. Also, I will also mention that, the next... Well, at least this part's gonna be a little bit free, but, for the question marks, I don't want any jokes.
Erica? Lenore?
Yes, my master.
You called.
I want you to stay in this fragment and explain everything in the remaining first through fourth games. That pitiful transient witch who supports the illusion of the witch no longer exists herself. Expose the naked truth thoroughly.
Leave it to me, my master. There is no riddle that I, Thurio Erica, cannot solve.
Of course. That's why you're my piece, my double.
Castle wore a massive and horrible smile, which Erica shared. Beatrice's illusion of the witch would disappear, and the result in all the previous games would be painted over. It had been crushed in every way possible, and only the naked truth remained. Such a weak truth was no better than fish on the chopping board for Erica. It is possible to explain all the past 4 games with Natsuhi as the criminal, or with certain irregularities based off that theme. I won't let anyone say it's the crime of the witch Beatrice again. I'll start compiling it together at once, and then present you a first-rate tale to you.
You mustn't leave even a single fragment of Beatrice's legend of the witch behind. The rumors among the servants, the way people talked about unexplained events as though that the legend was the cause. The illusion of the witch that walked alongside the illusion of Kinzo. Deal with all of them completely.
Of course. I'll get to it right away. We now have the furniture in custody. We're hurrying to identify their vessels. Sources of the Purgatory had already been taken into custody. Those noisy sisters who had served Beato now faced nothing but denial. What sort of illusion were they based upon that allowed them to manifest? Everything would be exposed and denied.
Einzerang Jungfrau has already begun its investigation. According to the most recent results, there is a high probability that they were constructed during the 1960s in the vicinity of New York. An aid has already been sent to the location.
The 1960s? The 7 Sisters of Paradise are made in USA? Even though they bragged about being furniture connected with King Solomon and serving a 1,000-year-old witch, they're a total sham. Who was it?
According to the report, there's this group of big-time swindlers who make money by selling fakes to rich fans of the occult.
Because the deceived millionaires try to resell the fakes as though they were real. There is a chance that they have been falsely deified by enthusiasts in the field. We are rushing to find confirmation and further details.
So assure me Akinzo was a sucker who'd pay big bucks for any fake occult object.
And that's what the 7 Sisters of Purgatory really are? That's hilarious! A total sham, just like Beato's illusion of the witch.
They call themselves the 7 Deadly Sins. They're actually cheap, fake souvenirs. Well, from the very beginning, I figured they were nothing more than paperweights sold at some shady souvenir shop.
Paperweights! Have you confronted the 7 Sisters with the truth yet?
No, not yet.
They still seriously believe they were created by a great sorcerer over 1,000 years ago. Let's confront them with perfect evidence and the truth right away. But know that they're mere paperweights worth less than $30 US.
When you do, I wonder what their faces will look like as they lose all hope. I can't wait. Call for me when that happens. I'll come to watch with some of the best black tea and dried plums.
Beato's illusion of the witch had already been penetrated. It's been proven that everything was simply the result of human delusions. What kind of delusions created them and what caused them in the first place? When the answers were proven perfectly and shoved in the faces of those concerned, the illusion would vanish and be completely annihilated. That's what they meant by execution.
An execution is not a show. As a general rule, it is not made public.
This is an inspection by the Great Lady Burncastle, member of the Senate, so that she can observe that the Great Court is performing its duties satisfactorily. Do you, as a mere Inquisitor of Heresy, wish to deny her that right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm just observing as a representative of the Senate to make sure you follow the proper procedures when you carry out your work.
We are currently preparing to take Virgilia, Ronave, and Gap into custody as well. Chester Sisters Imperial Guard are conducting the investigation. Of course, we will then detain and execute those 3 connected to Beatrice.
Lenore, what is the true nature of the Chester Sisters?
We believe there is a high likelihood that their vessels are weapons used in the crimes. For this purpose, Senior Aide Gertrude has formed a special team. We are currently investigating all cases.
I'm looking forward to the Chester Sisters execution too! One at a time? Or all of them at once?
No one's stupid enough to put an entire can of tea leaves in the pot at once. You got to enjoy it slowly, one spoonful at a time.
Exactly! Let's have the executions on consecutive days! For the furniture and the witches, one by one. I'll send you an execution show every day!
Wonderful. After all, there really are a lot of them. Looks like we'll be able to enjoy ourselves for a full 2 weeks. Maybe we can let them decide which ones to execute first. Make sure you think of something great for the execution concept. I'd like to enjoy executions both old and new, from east and west every day.
The rules state that the method of execution is to follow Great Court regulations.
Leave it to me, my master. I'll most certainly prepare you a fascinating execution show.
Oh, and you'd better quarter at least one of them.
Of course. I shall make a list of the best forms of execution from all countries, from Europe to Asia, which are used by kingdoms east and west for crimes no less than treason against the king.
I like to think of some execution methods myself. Pondering that will be the perfect way to relax on these sleepless nights. I'll iron out my ideas and send you a letter soon.
Certainly, my master. Then we'll have the Burn Castle style one as a grand finale. And at the very, very end, when all the illusions are broken and Beato's magical compendium has been completely crushed, I shall present my master with that finest of executions that she desires, the execution of Beatrice!
Thank you, Erica. Thanks to you, it seems I'll be able to forget the pain of my illness for a little while. You're just perfect. My peace, my double, and my adorable daughter.
Your words are too good for me, my master.
Erica, I'll give you honor and a reward. And that reward is the greatest symbol of Beatrice, the portrait from the reception hall. Take that off, smash it to make firewood, bake a cake with that and eat it. Then I'll allow you to put your portrait up in the remaining frame. Please.
Thank you very much. It is a great honor.
You will eradicate and erase Beatrice's name and all of her traces. I will order my okay. Until that is all finished, I will order you to be made the master of the sealed off for Kanjima. By the name of the Witch of Miracles, Brandcastle. I proclaim that you will be given the rank of witch until that day. From now on, you will call yourself Erica, the Witch of Truth.
The Witch of Truth? Thank you very much, my master. I've had to work even harder so that this honor will not be wasted. Even though she was nothing more than a piece, she was being granted the honor of calling herself a witch like my master, if only for a brief stretch of time. Erica was so moved from that action, that her actions had been acknowledged in this greatest form that she trembled.
Lenore, continue to aid Erica. Report on her progress to me.
As you wish.
By the way, where's Lambda?
She is over there.
From the guest seating on the second floor, she pointed downwards. Lambda Delta could be seen beneath Battler, who hung there, dead and pierced by the red longsword.
You sure me a battler. You were an interesting guy. And you might have become even more interesting, but too bad.
What a wonderful way to die. Erica? You can hang Battler's corpse in the mansion's reception hall. The next time I come to visit this fragment, welcome me in front of it.
Certainly, my master. I'll make that foolish man an eternal monument to my master's victory.
That sounds wonderful. Really tasteful. Maybe you can coat him in some plaster and make a beautiful white statue. And it'd be wonderful if you decorated him all cute.
Yes, Little in the Delta. I will strive to answer to your expectations.
Congratulations on becoming a witch. Though it'll only be for a while, I'll welcome you as a friend.
Erika was overcome with emotion that tears came to her eyes. Because for a piece, no greater pleasure exists than having your work acknowledged by your master.
In the end, I'd like to have Beato's stuff too. Then I'll decorate a reception hall with her.
Galaxy Express?
The one that isn't Night on the... You know.
You know.
Okay, that's it.
I read that book back when I wasn't a witch. I always thought it was strange that humans who obtained eternal life would become so cruel. At the time, I honestly couldn't relate.
After becoming a witch and living 1,000 years, I fully understand it. That's right, I could understand her cruelty really well, in the truest sense.
Where'll we go next? I bet we'll say farewell with our backs turned, right?
That's because I don't want to let you get bored.
Thanks, Fern. But you can be sure I'll count to 100 and then I'll start searching for you again.
You really don't let a person get bored. That's why I like you, love you. Let's meet again somewhere. However, we may not be reunited for another 100 or 1,000 years, if ever.
That's okay. The Sea of Fragments is tiny for a pair who love each other.
The third man?
No, Children of Paradise, of course.
If you could escape the poison of just a single evening's worth of boredom. Each time you smashed one of those countless fragments that glitter like starry night. Even you would want to count the stars in the sky.
Oh, not bad.
The Voyager witches travel across the countless glittering futures of possibility, and gobble them up, trying to escape their illness called boredom for as long as they can. The tiny, tiny fragment created by the human known as Beatrice had now been gobbled up by the two witches, and had lost its glitter. The two had earlier called themselves the rivals in front of Beato, and thought that charade and laughed together peacefully.
Eureka? New ruler of this fragment. Weave the truth and create the tale that leads up to this world's demise. The next was the 6th game, right?
Yes, it's the 6th game.
Decide the title for episode 6 yourself. After all, you're already the spinner of this tale, as well as the master.
Thank you very much. Actually, I've already decided on one.
Oh, already? Then let me hear it. What kind of title is it?
Yes. Episode 6. I'm going to leave you hanging for a bit, but I'll tell you.
Come on, stop being a smartass and tell us. A newbie witch like you shouldn't be teasing your seniors.
Episode 6. Checkmate of the Golden Witch.
It was like less than 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Ah,
this
so
part is
there
like
were-
less than 30 minutes, yeah. The next part's gonna be 2 hours. Almost.
So,
Ugh.
mistakes were cheap.
Yeah.
Jeez.
They're made up?
That is
Oh, I love being in lesbians with you, Rindy.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. Aces.
The other L word, Scott. Time for the question marks. Ooh.
here. I thought the question mark was over.
There he is. In a cathedral devoid of people, the figure could be seen still staring up at the heavens. Its chest pierced with a long red sword that pinned it in place to the ground. That figure was Battler. Ironically, it looked just like what he'd done to Beato with blue wedges in the 4th game. Battler had died quite some time ago. No. In this place, the concept of death means nothing except that one has stopped thinking. Therefore, in a sense, Battler was not dead. After being defeated in a fight over the truth and surrendering, he no longer had the strength to think of a way to resist. That's what made him dead. Eleanor's massive longsword had been left in place of a tombstone, fastened Battler to that spot, even after his death. This is all being lit by a faint light seeping out of an incredibly high skylight. Wide footsteps rang out across the still cathedral. In the darkness behind a pillar, a woman slowly stepped forward. It was Beatrice. Just like they'd been the whole time in the Golden Land. Her eyes had no light in them. They were still muddled over with gray. This person was once unable to even drink black tea to her satisfaction by her own will. Though it was slow, though there was no life in her eyes, she was, surprisingly, walking. Then, with slow, deliberate steps, she reached Battler, who was still dead, pierced through. Then, she slowly touched Battler. She tugged on his sleeve. However, Battler showed no reaction. And she realized that it wasn't sleep, but death, which with the hopeless gaze let her head hang even lower. Then she quietly whispered,
You liar.
Beata softly touched Battler, and she pressed her forehead against Battler's chest. There was no longer any heartbeat. It wasn't just because he had surrendered, because the witches had chased him from the game board. But from now on, Battler would never return. So from now on, Golden Witch Beatrice would have no reason to exist.
Thank you, liar. Goodbye. And I'm sorry.
Then, the Golden Witch completed her task, and scattered as a spray of gold. In the Golden Land, the gray rain gently continued to fall. There was a faint aroma of good black tea. Beato stared blankly at its surface. There was Virgilia, continuing her knitting. along with me and Delanor, talking to each other. This is a recollection. A recollection from Battler's memory, which Delanor's sword must have given him as it pierced him. A recollection of that time Delanor had come to visit the tea party in the Golden Land.
It is the same with me. The next time we cross swords, I won't hold back.
Bring it on. I'll be your opponent. Come with all you've got.
I promise. With everything I've got.
Delanor, huh? Thought she was an emotionless killer doll without a heart. Maybe she actually is pretty approachable. Oh, of course, neither of us will show any mercy when fighting over the game board. For a while, we gazed at the rain-drenched rose garden, as we quietly enjoyed our tea. Still, it really is terrifying. The way you fight. Nox's 10 Commandments, or the Decalogues, wasn't it? Those classic rules of the mystery genre, right?
Yes. They are commandments conceived by my father.
Hidden doors must not exist. It's Nox's third, right? Means there's no need for detectives to even look for hidden doors. That's pretty ridiculous. Castle said it herself. She said that because they were forbidden by Nox's third. Even searching for hidden doors was a waste of time. Let's counter that by saying that that it probably isn't so uncommon for a rich family's mansion to have a hidden door or two built into it. But apparently that sort of rule works perfectly well in the mystery genre. By the way, there exist many wonderful mysteries in which hidden doors do appear, where hidden doors are the theme. This is limited to novels which have the premise that hidden doors exist. If that premise doesn't exist, hidden doors must not exist. So because that premise doesn't exist, there is no need to search for hidden doors. I think that's probably the essence of her ridiculous argument. The detective trying to expose the truth, an illusion trying to confuse it with a mixture of truth and lies, are getting blended together, leading to a bizarre form of argument similar to a devil's proof. The enclosed room murder seemed to be accomplished by a witch with a magic is fantasy. Exposing that it was a human's crime done with tricks is anti-fantasy. Examining all possibilities to expose the nature of those tricks is mystery. But is it also mystery? And that possibilities with no hint supporting them are unworthy of investigation? Let's say a hidden door is hidden in a way that there would be no clues. Claiming that a hidden door therefore exists, even though the detective couldn't find it, be anti-mystery? That's enough of that. This argument is too far of a digression from the riddles I'm actually supposed to be solving. My fight is very simple. I'm fighting to explain how it was possible for a human to carry out these crimes, as supposedly carried out by a witch. The whole discussion about mystery and anti doesn't serve any purpose. I didn't have any particular interest regarding those rules known as the Nox Decalogue.
Do you dislike Nox?
It doesn't work for me. There's something strange about making it possible to deny the existence of all hidden doors without investigating. It's about as dubious as a devil's proof. And that's supposed to be the exact opposite of fantasy. So it feels like it's the same kind of argument. I shouldn't have said that. Your dad was the one who made them, after all.
Do not worry. After all, there are some who say it is nothing more than a silly game.
The Decalogue feels like something very arrogant to you, right, Battler-kun?
To be honest, yeah. If an actual detective said he didn't need to look for hidden doors because they must not exist, everyone started looking around on the floor to see if he had if some of his screws had come loose.
In that case, Battler, let us say that the third commandment didn't exist. In that case, what would happen to closed room mysteries?
What if Nox's third, hidden doors are forbidden, didn't exist? In other words, hidden doors would always work just fine as a standard trick for closed rooms.
This does not refer to hidden doors with hints or foreshadowing. It refers only to doors that even the detective cannot find because, of course, there are hidden.
Rattler-kun, you often fight by using a devil's proof, assuming the existence of an undiscoverable element X. That's what this is about.
That'd be horrible. The closed room mystery genre wouldn't be worth reading at all. If it were no longer worth anyone's time, it would cease to exist. No one would want to try solving the riddle from the beginning. Not if they knew the answer might just be an unforeseeable hidden door. Unless you have some guarantee that no hidden doors exist, you don't really feel like trying to reason it out. I see. So Noxus Third is necessary. Without that, it wouldn't be worth reading closed room mysteries.
And if you didn't feel like trying to reason it out, what would that lead to?
It means you wouldn't even want to read it.
That's it. Humans are weak creatures who can't even think unless they have proof that reasoning is possible.
That reasoning is possible. In other words, they need encouragement to let them know they can solve it, if they work hard enough.
That might be true. It's the same with exercising. You'll run around the campus 10 times, you can tough it out. But if you don't know how many times you're supposed to run around it, you'll probably get tired out before you made it around 3 times. Same thing goes for thinking and reasoning. Humans view a problem differently, depending on whether or not it's guaranteed to be solvable.
In detective novels, there's always a scene where the detective announces that he's discovered who the culprit is. That's a sign saying the hints have always been given in the previous parts of the story. So, dear readers, please try to reason it out.
Ah. That sounds with the classic line, but I guess it does also have that effect.
To put it harshly, until the detective says that, readers won't feel like trying to solve it, no matter how much they love solving mysteries.
Weren't you like that yourself in the previous games?
Now that I hear it, maybe that really was the case. Maybe my fight against Beato really began in the second game. First, I didn't seriously try to tackle the closed room riddles Beato threw at me. After all, I knew nothing except that people had died in a closed room. The windows and doors were all locked from the inside. I mean, seriously. Talk about having no hints to go on. I refused to argue on the grounds that I couldn't fight. The lack of clues made reasoning impossible. After that, didn't Beato sneer at me? Asking whether I'd repeat that over and over, forever, in an endless repetition of moves. At that time, Beato said this.
Of course not. I'll give you the thing people like you always demand. The reason you always stop thinking and then moan about it is lack of information. If you are then given information, you'll start doubting whether the information is true or not by denying the basis. Isn't that convenient? What clever little words to hide your own incompetence.
Then she said that she'd give me certain information that couldn't be denied. And created the rule called the Red Truth. Once we reached that point, the curtain finally rose in my battle with Beato. So, that's when I finally had a guarantee that I could solve this tale if I tried. And I stepped up to the stage with her for the first time.
Beatrice. She's a strange person. Though riddles are the only holes witches can live within, she began to give you the red truth, a method by which those riddles could be solved.
You can say the red truth is a hint Beato gives me, that I can compete in this war of reasoning. Like candy. Because I have been given hints. Like you're saying, try and solve it. Or it can be solved. An enigma that's guaranteed to be solvable can't truly be called an enigma. Isn't this almost as though Beato herself is admitting she really isn't a witch?
My. Ara. That does seem logical. She truly is a strange child.
Beato gave no answer. Her gray eyes, she nothing but blankly gazed at the steam rising from her black tea.
Father created the Decalogue as an act to act as a crutch for the power of thinking. It most certainly wasn't made as a way to arrogantly decide things.
A crutch. The power of thinking.
That's right. By Nox's 8th, it is forbidden for the case to be resolved with clues that are not presented. This does not only mean that one is forced to avoid making theories that are not supported by clues.
If you turn it around, it means that the one proposing the riddles is forced to display clues that lead to the solution.
So, in other words, if you follow the Decalogue, all riddles must have hints. And therefore it's guaranteed that finding the solution is possible. I see. That's what they mean by a crutch for the power of thinking. If you can believe that it's solvable, you start wanting to have a go with those riddles. If you're capable of believing that hints do exist, you get fired up about rereading the story to search for them. I'll admit, it might have the power to give courage to those trying to solve it.
You seem to think the Nox Decalogue is a series of restrictions imposed by the ones who made the mystery. But it is also vital for the readers. By using the Decalogue as a crutch, we are given the courage needed to use reasoning, as well as the willpower to reread the tale several times in search of clues we know must be hidden there.
The lid of a jar of jam that's too tight and won't open. Like Mom always used to say, if you think you can't open it, then it really won't open no matter how hard you try. Same thing happens in sports. Whether or not you have a strong image of yourself and believe you can win no matter what. It's a large impact on the records. In that case, Nox Decalogue really isn't a set of arrogant and strict restrictions. You can also see it as the way to encourage readers who are trying to solve the mystery by telling them to give it their all since it's definitely solvable. That's an interesting way to interpret it. Still, I've heard that not all detective novels around the world follow the Decalogues all the time, right? When you bump into one of those, won't you feel tricked?
Even the Decalogue is nothing more than a single interpretation, and it cannot be applied to all mystery stories. Though, among fundamentalists of my father's work, it seems there are those who harshly criticize works that violates the Decalogue and call them heresy. Net.
There's no end of arguments like this in the mystery world. Was this or the famous detective novel really a fair mystery? In other words, one that followed Nox Decalogue? That sort of argument is already an eternal theme of the mystery world. In fact, in mystery discussions, arguments like these sometimes become even more heated than discussions of the actual tricks. You can understand why they want to criticize it. Try to solve it, believe it's solvable, and follow the Decalogue. It's actually not made to be solvable like that at all. I can understand how that'd get pretty annoying. That's right. When fighting with the Decalogue, there's just one thing you want guaranteed from the beginning. In other words, you want to guarantee that this detective novel will adhere to the Decalogue. If a work labels itself as an orthodox mystery, then you have nothing to worry about. However, the mystery genre contains many unorthodox subgenres within it. I mean, trying to use reasoning as an unorthodox detective novel is a complete waste of time. Looking at it that way, it really does feel arrogant.
Yes. I also find it extremely sad that my father's Decalogue has been used as such an arrogant weapon.
Then again, you just fought against Beata using the Decalogue as a weapon. Take that as proof that this game, World of Beatos, follows the Nox Decalogue? When I asked that, there was a strange silence. Virgilia, Delanor, and obviously Beato all remained silent for a while. Almost as though my question had touched at the core of something.
That is something I cannot answer myself.
Why?
This is a game that this child made. A game to decide which of the two of you will win. This child has called it a confrontation between mystery and fantasy. But unfortunately, she never said it was an orthodox mystery. That means you have no guarantee that it follows the Decalogue.
But at the same time, Miss Beatrice has said that this game is a contest between you and her. In other words, there is a chance you could win.
In other words, you're trying to say that reasoning is possible.
If you asked this child, she would probably say that reasoning is possible. However, just as she is the challenger and you are the challenged, the two of you are different creatures. Something Beato might have proposed, thinking it is solvable, may or may not be solvable for you as well.
For example, let's say we propose a simple riddle that any Japanese person would know. However, if the person we're telling the riddle to is a foreigner with a Japanese-English dictionary in their hand, it might be almost impossible to solve. In other words, it's possible to have a one-sided, solvable problem. It'd be easy for the questioner, but extremely difficult for the person trying to solve it. By the way, you know the foreign riddle? Why do dragons sleep all day? The answer is to battle the night. It's a riddle from the English realm, so it might be a little tough for a Japanese person.
For that reason, I cannot say for certain that this tale is something you will be able to solve. However, I can promise you one thing. I will guarantee it with the red truth.
What?
Beato wanted you to solve it. So she created this game, and the riddles of this tale, to be solvable. That alone I will guarantee with the red truth.
It was the one guarantee that all those who try to use reasoning desire.
I don't know if my father's Decalogue will apply to that answer or lead you to it. However, when you run into a tight spot and want to compass for your reasoning, please try using my Decalogue if you remember. It might give you renewed courage and might possibly even lead to some new discovery.
Thank you. If I'm truly stuck, I'll think about your fighting style. You sure it's okay to help out your enemy like this?
Pay that no mind. I came to this tea party without a gift. I hope you enjoy this in place of a snack. And if you come face to face with me again, there probably won't be time to speak of such things so casually.
Nox's Decalogue and Virgilia's Red Truth. Vito wanted me to solve the riddles of this game. He created them to be solvable. In other words, Beto wants me to be capable of solving it. Isn't that proof that reasoning is possible? Of course, they're from Beato's point of view. Doesn't necessarily mean that reasoning is possible for me. Created before now, when I didn't even know what reasoning was possible or not, whether reasoning was possible or not, that one line might give me a great deal of courage. At least it has the power to silence any negative thoughts about this all being useless.
Unless the other party assures you that the reasoning is possible, you won't do it. It's almost like love between shy young people.
Love?
Yes. Unless you have proof that the other person loves you first, you don't want to love them back. Right?
Both boys and girls want to hear someone else say that they love them first. That's their dream. But they're in love. They want to love the other person until they're sure that this person loves them back. After all, there is nothing as painful as one-sided love. The scars of the heart left behind last a long time. Because they are afraid of that pain. They want proof that the other person loves them first more than anything else.
I see. That's an interesting way to explain the relationship between writer and reader in a detective novel.
Yeah. Maybe you could liken the detective novels to that. With the writer and the reader. First, want the other party to say that they'll solve it, or that it can be solved. So the writer is sure that the reader will certainly have a go at the riddle if they propose it. They don't want to write their story. The same goes for the readers. Until they are sure that they will certainly be able to solve the riddle if they try, they don't want to read the story. Because they don't want to write what they consider a masterpiece and be hurt when no one reads it. Because they don't want to reason about what they consider a masterpiece and be hurt when they realize it was all useless. By that argument, it really isn't a stretch to say it's like love between shy elementary or middle school age kids. Even though they really do want it, they don't have the courage to reveal their feelings. They wait uncomfortably for the other person to confess. By the time summer ends, nothing's happened. More than that, sometimes the girl even ends up going out with an entirely different guy. That's what my first love was like. Along with these one-sided feelings they can't express, they lament the passage of a summer that will never come again, the days of their youth's end. The writer who wouldn't wait until he gained the support of readers, but for all eternity without realizing his maiden work. Releasing. The reader who waited for the writer's rise to fame, because their whole life without knowing the joy of the mystery genre.
Battler-kun. When does this the chicken or the egg type of shy love reach the level where it can progress into mutual love?
Well, that's probably when things start to pile up. That's the relationship between friends that communicate with each other more and more. When the two both reach the level where they're sure that I like this person, they surely like me, well, then they probably just naturally become a pair of lovers. My impression up until now was that relationships starting with a sudden confession of love tend to break up more often. Whereas pairs who never actually confess to each other, but realize they've always been together, usually stay together for a surprisingly long time.
In other words, this happens once the two of them believe in each other and a relationship of trust is born. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe. It's a bit odd. I always thought the mystery genre was a battle between the writer and the reader. But maybe that's not quite right.
Yes. It's something that cannot go on without a relation built on mutual trust. A relationship with love.
So you're saying our relationship isn't one of killing each other, but one with love?
Though it doesn't look like anything more than a pair of elementary schoolers bullying each other to me.
Regalia joked at us in a middle-aged woman sort of way. Still, though not exactly expecting a friendship or a trusting relationship, I can accept her as a rival. Vieto is frightening at full force, trying to make me acknowledge that she's a witch. So I'll respond to that and go all out to try to deny that witches exist.
How can you be sure that Miss Beatrice is fighting at full force?
Can you tell that by looking?
It isn't as though she has proclaimed in red that she is fighting you at full force. And yet, you still have no doubts. You are the only one who said you wouldn't believe in anything except the red truth.
Oh. Surely this is that stage battler Kun mentioned earlier, where communication increases and you learn not to doubt your relationship.
Regalia and Delanor giggle together. One guy, multiple women. The topic is love. Wait a sec. Is this the worst possible formation for getting made fun of? To bring back a proper mood for a tea party in the rainy Golden Land. I clumsily searching for a more noble subject. Regalia saw right through me and laughed. Even amidst this, Vito kept looking downward with those gray eyes, staring into her black tea. Yeah, that's right. Vigilia and Delanor had given me so many hints, and yet I barely thought about it at all. By now, it's all too late. Let me think. That everything is too late already, and I've got an endless amount of time in my hands. Let me think. One more time, let me think about the red truth Virgilia gave me, and the crutch of the Decalogue that Delanor lent me. With the red truth, Virgilia guaranteed that at the very least, Vito left enough room in this tale for me to achieve victory. That red truth guarantee will once again give me the power to start my heart beating. It was the crutch of the Decalogue which Delanor lent me. Delanor herself warned me in the beginning that this Decalogue isn't so almighty that it can solve all riddles. However, she does something about how it could be used as a method to solve. No. Take on riddles. Let me try it. There's no guarantee that this tale is mystery or fantasy. Let me believe that I'll definitely be able to solve it. That it is a solvable tale. A mystery. And let me take it on one last time. When I came to, I was suddenly in a strange tea room where I'd often argued furiously with Beata from across that table. Of course, Beata was nowhere to be found. It was just me, isolated and alone. It's okay. Even so, I won't stop thinking. Okay then. What were Nox's commandments again? I'm sure Delanor explained most of them when slamming me with them. Of course, even I recall them vaguely. What was the first one again?
Allow me to speak. Nox is first. It is forbidden for the culprit to be anyone not mentioned in the early part of the story.
When I muttered about what the first one was, as if answering my question, Delanor's subordinate appeared. Without bothering with an unnecessary hello, she told me nothing more or less than what I wanted to know. Yeah, that's it. But first, culprit has to be one of the people mentioned in the early part of the story. In other words, the culprit must have already appeared. As early as the first game? So that's the most basic of basics in the mystery genre. Classic assumption. Classic assumption? Have I really been keeping to that assumption? With each new game, the number of people in this tale keeps increasing. That violates the closed circle rule. By that point, everything gets screwed up. Did I give up on the inside? Thinking that the true culprit or mastermind must not have shown up yet? The reasoning was therefore useless? I read this tale as a fantasy. New characters kept showing up. The point where even having demon kings or gods or creators appear wouldn't be strange at all. If the true mastermind first appears in one of the last episodes, I have to accept it. However, if I read it as a mystery and stick with that conviction, there's no need to worry at all about anyone who shows up later. Because Noxus First clearly states, it's impossible for the culprit to be anyone who appears later on in the story. Of course, it's also what both Delanor and Virgilia said. There's no guarantee that this tale follows the rules of the Decalogue. So of course, I can't deny the possibility that the culprit first appeared in the second game or later. However, this is one way of thinking. This time, I forget about the Devil's Proof completely. So I borrow the power of the Decalogue in my thinking. After all, I've already said to myself that I won't be able to reach the truth without a multi-angled outlook. In that case, it means the culprit in all these repeating games is one of the 18. From the very beginning, there was no need for the illusion of a 19th person. Even the first of Nox's commandments denied the existence of an unknown person known as the Witch from the very start. If I had followed that in the truest sense, I might have suffered so miserably in the second game. Nox's second?
Allow me to speak. Nox's second. It is forbidden for supernatural agencies to be employed as a detective technique.
Eleanor's other subordinate appeared with a sound. He gave me an answer to my question. That's right. The detective can't go around using magic. So, if this is a fair battle, does that mean that, like a detective, culprit also isn't allowed to use magic?
Allow me to speak. Know that you are free to interpret it as you please.
Yeah, that's right. Sure. I'll interpret it my way. This game is a battle between me and Beato. Because the tale is solvable, no elements will appear that make it impossible to solve. In other words, things like magic mustn't appear. When they do appear, I shouldn't suspect that the mystery element is breaking down. But I should instead question why it was shown. I suspect the witness and the observers. That's right. That was Beato's greatest weapon in the second game. Depictions of magic which couldn't exist in a mystery. By showing me that, she forced me to think that this tale wasn't a mystery. And therefore that reasoning was impossible, so I surrendered. However, if I had believed unshakably that it was a mystery, it would have been completely obvious to doubt that the witness who claimed to have seen magic. Also, at the end of the first game, it was revealed that this tale was passed on to people in the future by that message bottle. Someone had written about this crime. This tale. In other words, this entire tale is a world that includes the personal opinions of an observer. Namely, the person who wrote them that message in a bottle. In other words, the observer isn't God. It's a human. Therefore, there's no guarantee that this depiction is truly impartial. At the end of the first game, it's already clear that we've broken the constant premise of the mystery genre. The story itself must be seen through the eyes of God. For that reason, it's possible to doubt even the observer, as well as the witnesses. I could have doubted this much. No matter how many seemingly unsolvable displays of magic appeared, I wouldn't have had to have blindly accepted them and give up. However, that begs the question.
Is it even possible to solve a tale written by an observer who isn't impartial? If it gets observed with this, if I get obsessed with this, all my reasoning will end here. Meh. However, I had to believe. I had to believe that Beto was trying to fight me through this tale. If it's a fight, it means I've been given a chance of winning. By giving me that, doesn't that mean that reasoning is possible? This part is tough. As I believe that the cruel witch took on the risk of losing it to try and have a fair fight with me. I can't get past this part. Just like Virgilia said. Just like love. If I can't believe that Beto is fighting me head on with everything that she's got, I won't be able to reason any further than this. Sure. I'll acknowledge it. Unless we acknowledge that we love each other, we won't be able to get any further. When Virgilia ran out of patience with the two of us, shy and incapable as we were of acknowledging that out loud, she gave me that red truth instead. That was the red truth saying that Beto wanted me to solve the riddles of this game. So she created them to be solvable. What the hell? It's like Sato-san in Class A says he likes you. Like hearing a love confession via a friend. I really am pitiful. Reasoning is love. If we don't love each other, the reasoning won't start. In that case, how can we say that we love each other? If you think you can solve it, just you try. You're incompetent, like hell you can solve it. Yeah, according to George Anarchy, people like that are called Sundora. That brutal witch is starting to look a bit cute. We meet her again. I want to try saying you're such a Sundora. Meet her again. Somewhere. Tell me other parts of the Decalogue. I don't care about the order. Give me something that seems useful.
Allow me to speak. Nox's 8th. It is forbidden for the case to be resolved with clues that are not presented.
Allow me to speak. Noxus 6th. It is forbidden for accident or intuition to be employed as a detective technique. It must not be
solved with clues that aren't presented. Thanks, Cat. And it must not be solved by relying on an accident or a coincidence. If this tale's made to be solvable, we can read this the opposite way. In other words, clues must be prepared so that this case can be solved. It has to be made in a way that it can be solved without relying on coincidence. If I can believe that Beto is challenging me to a fair game where reasoning is possible, then I can be sure of that. In other words, Beto has already left me. Clues, hints, and messages in this tale. It isn't from the Decalogue, but Erica or someone said this. There are 3 riddles to be exposed in a mystery. One is the whodunit. Who is the culprit? One is the howdunit. How did they commit the crime? One is the whydunit. Why did they commit the crime? All this means that clues related to these 3 riddles are already present inside this tale. No. Strictly speaking, it's like this. Because she wanted me to solve these 3 riddles, Beto scattered hints about. But whether I'm capable of catching those or not is another matter. Even if you think a riddle you propose is easy, it'd be difficult for the person trying to solve it. In that case, it's only natural that there will be a difference in how difficult each person finds it. Therefore, as Beto goes through each successive game, she watches me closely, and tweaks the game as needed to get a good arrangement. When Beto realized I'd completely surrendered in the second game because it was too hard, she secretly worried. If I surrendered and lost the will to fight, the game would no longer remain on even footing. Therefore, in order to make me regain my will to fight, the third game onward, she set things up in a way that made it easy for me, giving me tips on how to fight it and a few hints. Gilia and Ronave obviously appeared so that they could help me. Also, though we still have the usual crazy magic shows, he gave me the metaphor of the Brawn Tube trial and as well as tips on how to fight back.
Finally understood how to fight. Most likely, at the end of the 4th game, Beata managed to have the all-out showdown with me that she probably had wanted. And Beata acknowledged that my alibis had become full-fledged, and entrusted me with her heart. Entrusted me with explaining this tale, didn't she? In that case, it really was dumb of me to boycott most of the 5th game. Just because so disgusted with those 2 witches. It didn't matter. It doesn't matter who the game master is. All I needed is to search for the truth in Beato's game. On the contrary, probably thank those 2 witches just a little for continuing the game in Beato's place. Now that she's gone, left everything to me. Of course. I doubt those evil witches were trying to do anything of the sort. Culprit. Crime. Motive. The answers to those 3 ultimate riddles, the hints, must be scattered through the previously shown tales. Probably a very faint light, trying to find beads that have fallen onto a sandy beach. They're definitely there. However, they're so faint that unless I believe strongly, there's no way I'll be able to find them.
Please, allow me to speak.
What is it?
Go back, through the tale. Know that you'll be given them as long as you don't lose sight of the truth's faint light.
Right now, through this tale.
Noted for reasoning to be possible, a trusting relationship is required.
Yeah, I know. In fact, maybe I finally noticed just now. Something that's been repeated over and over again throughout the tale. Persistently so. Without love, truth cannot be seen. Slowly the tea room dissolved in the darkness. Then, as though I was slowly sinking into a pitch-black sea, I passed through the crevice of the long journey I'd taken with Beato, and kept on falling and falling. It was a bizarre experience. Crossing over the boundary of sleep while still conscious. Several tales become faint bubbles. No. Are they small, shining fragments? And were scattered like stars amidst the pitch-black sky. I kept sinking on and on into that sea. Tales up until now. One after another. After another. Virgilius guided Dante to Mount Purgatory, and brought him to the feet of the Eternal Lady who waited at the top, Beatrice. Therefore, the innermost depths lay not at the bottom, but at the peak of Mount Purgatory. The Eternal Lady had been waiting there for Dante the whole time. And then I knew. I finally reached the truth. The depths. No. The peak of Mount Purgatory. You really are an idiot. Oh, wait, shit, that wasn't even me. Fuck. Oh well. That hurts. He awoke from the sleep of death, and bit by bit his sense of pain came back to him. And Battler's face, which still looked up to the heavens and hung there pierced by the longsword, a suffering and alive expression gradually returned.
Sorry, I'm sorry, crying. You really are an idiot. A huge idiot.
Battler noticed. This whole time, Beato had been snuggling up against him, sleeping. And when he held her, he knew that it was not Beato, but her crumbling remains. When Battler just tried to hold that form, as fragile as ash, and just like a sandcastle made in a beach, washed away by a small wave, it fell apart and lost its form. At Battler's feet lay nothing but the ragged remains of Beato's dress, and a pile of ash. No, on top of that pile of ash, he could see something sparkling gold. It was the husk of a single gold butterfly, which had been torn to bits, and so, Battler knew. I've definitely reached the truth. However, I wasn't able to do it, while Beato still remained in this world. Beato, you really are an idiot. I finally reached the truth. This crazy riddle you've created. Just like you wanted. I didn't lose heart. And I finally made it to there in the end. So why did you lose heart without waiting for me? You believed so strongly, didn't you? That I definitely reached the truth. So, why couldn't you believe with me? And wait, you're not the only one who's been forcing endless torture on someone else. It's me! I've been the one putting you through this such cruel torture. You resisted until the very end and kept on protesting to me. And even though I've now finally reached the truth, to think that you couldn't wait any longer, that it's all too late. You idiot! Why did you lose heart? Before me! Damn it! It's my fault. I forced her to endure this torture. I've actually been doing a wonderful job sticking it through for so long. Over and over and over again, you kept on protesting to me. And because I was so incompetent, it was as though I couldn't understand the truth. Idiot! Your riddles are too twisted. Why couldn't you say it? Or simply, idiot! Gah! Screams of pain filled the sad cathedral. The sad witch who wasn't able to communicate the truth to Battler. The sad man who wasn't able to understand the witch's truth. Battler's howl of anger and sadness rang out from that pair. The clock hung in the cathedral that it was midnight on October 5th, 1986. Time was up. For everything. You're kidding me. Don't say something like a time limit on this difficult riddle you're so proud of. No. I understand. Even though there was such a faint chance of that miracle happening, you prayed for it to happen. You're like grandfather. You prayed for him, bet on the power of a miracle. When someone looked at it, it was totally impossible. It's likely than finding a bead you've dropped on a sandy beach. It means we've now truly arrived at that miracle. However, your time didn't last long enough. If I had reached this point even a little sooner, I could have seen the truth. Even if it had been right before the time was up, I might have been able to save you. Right now, I've been run through pathetically. I can't even hold the remains of you. As I attempted to pull the longsword out, just stretching out my arms and kicking my feet, struggling to at least touch her remains. But nothing worked. Damn it! That time I noticed the golden glint on the palm of my hand.
It was a single wing from a gold butterfly. That small fragment of gold. The only piece of Beata that I was permitted to touch. I cried with all my strength, gripped that fragment, and pressed it against my head, apologizing. Why couldn't I reach the truth earlier? And I pressed it to my chest, promising that even now, I would never lose the truth again. When I pressed my hand against my chest, the sword piercing my chest cut my wrist, and blood dribbled out. That blood spread through my fist, and it must have soaked the gold fragment with my red blood. It must have been the only way of telling her that I found the truth she wanted me to know about. I clutched the wing of the gold butterfly with my freshly bleeding hand and pressed it against the red sword that pierced me. At this point, Shirmia Battler knows. He understands. He's found this tale's everything. That time, it seemed as though faint golden light leaked out of the gaps in his clenched fist. The two witches had their backs turned, and Erica was laughing at Battler's corpse.
It really is pathetic, Battler-san. I'll make your foolishness into a statue for all eternity.
Huh? At that time, Battler's chest... No. The red longsword that pierced Battler began to sparkle gold from deep within his chest. That bright golden light began to change the red sword's old color, turning it gold.
What's going on?
Battler is... What is this?
Battler coughed up blood and groaned. His consciousness came back. His will to live and his will to fight came back. Red longsword that pierced Battler could no longer be described as such. Now it had become a golden longsword. Then, slowly, gradually, it pulled itself out of Battler's chest. It finally pulled itself free and started dancing through the air, and stood up in front of Battler's eyes as though it knew who its master was. Battler, crawling on the floor and moaning, grabbed the golden longsword. And though it looked painful, he slowly rose to his feet once again.
This sure is an elaborate act. Is this one of your tricks, Lambda?
That glow. It couldn't be.
Emma stared wide-eyed at that bright golden glow in awe. It turns that Battler's resurrection wasn't part of a script Lambda had thought up. Byrne also frowned slightly.
Sorry, the trials will not be permitted. Jessica's eliminate this resurrection illusion.
Understood. 4-5-14. Firing permission granted.
It's unable to target? IFF error code 999!
999, you say? Impossible.
Justice has hesitated, able to carry out Byrne Castle's orders.
Lambda, what kind of farce is this? The illusion of the witch had been completely destroyed, and the trial ended with our victory.
Sorry, Byrne. You'll have to stick around a bit longer. Isn't that right, Ishirmia Battler?
Yeah. Sorry to keep you waiting, Erica. Byrne Castle. Now it's my time for the truth. Now it's time for my truth. Whoops.
Request for a retrial accepted. The Assembly of Witches retracts the adjournment of the Court of Illusions.
Objection? The trial had already been concluded and the results have even been announced.
Objection overruled. All verdicts are overshadowed by new truths.
Objection! Not only had Battler been banished as a player, he also doesn't hold the rank of a witch. He isn't qualified to call for an appeal.
Objection overruled. He already does have that. By the name of Lambda Delta, the Witch of Certainty, I acknowledge it. Ushirmia Battler, I acknowledge you as the new Golden Witch. No, as the new Endless Sorcerer, Ushirmia Battler.
What'd you say? Battler got the rank of a witch!
The rank of a witch, which she had desired for so long, had been granted to Battler so quickly. On top of that, this wasn't even anything temporary. It was an official, proper authorization by Lambda Delta. Rika couldn't accept it, and her face turned bright red.
Looks like that kid's game really will keep us entertained until the very end. Sure, I'll play along. Erika, you handle this. The red truth you've created with me is perfect. The construction of truth that makes Natsui the culprit is perfect. Battler Sandy won't be able to break it.
Of course, my master. There's no need to worry at all. Anyway, Chester sisters, my master ordered you to fire, right? I was gonna take you to carry out that order.
Error code 999. An access code is required to target the Territory Lord.
Yeah. I told you he'd do it, yeah. Territory Lord? Who controls the fragment? I do!
Territory Lord. You don't mean Battler is...
Yes. Ushiromaya Battler has been authorized as the official territory lord of this fragment.
Yes, that's right. So you still don't understand? You don't know what that gold sparkle signifies? He's reached it. Battler has. He's made his way to the innermost depths of all truth. That means Battler understood everything about this world, this tale, this game. In other words, he's reached the position of the Game Master. I bet you don't want to believe it, right, Bern?
Yeah, I don't want to believe it. Okay, I'll test Battler to see whether he really understands everything. Erika.
Too bad, Erika. Just when you finally are appointed as the Territory Lord of this fragment, you've been deprived of that title. The new Territory Lord of this fragment is Ushirmia Battler. Is it awful? Hey, don't you feel just awful? How's it feel to be deprived of that title when you just finally gotten it? How's it feel?
You can disprove my theory, then just try it! It's impossible! 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 The theory I've created has no holes! It's also not that Natsuhi is the culprit!
I can construct a theory with someone other than a Nazi as the culprit. Maybe that your truth is impossible to disprove. And so that means that your truth won't be able to deny my new truth either. Battler spoke with the red truth allowed by him by his state as a sorcerer.
Culprit other than Natsuhi? What's that? Delanor! Let's see where this delusion of Battler Sons takes us!
Slowly, Delanor stepped forwards. In her hand was the red longsword of the Decalogue. She also had a blue short sword. In Battler's hand was a golden longsword. The two rivals once again. No. For the first time. They truly confronted each other.
Battler, I've been waiting.
Sorry to keep you.
You didn't. Your return was sooner than I anticipated.
Kill him! Delanore Knox!
Illness from disappeared in an instant, as though her slow, dignified movements from before were only a lie. The curve drawn by the Nox sword, the long sword of red truth burned itself into the retinas of those who saw it. Before anyone had enough time to follow that curve, it was already approaching Battler's chest.
Lady Erica's reasoning has solved the fifth game. No new facts exist to overturn this logically derived truth.
It's possible to present a different truth using a different interpretation. Multiple truths exist in parallel, the authenticity of both is questioned. In this closed-off world, it's possible for a different truth to exist at the same time. Furthermore, as long as multiple truths exist, it's impossible to claim that any of the truths are the single truth. In other words, even if I can't overturn Erica's reasoning by questioning its credibility and conquering it, I can defeat it!
Ern's reasoning is perfect. You won't be able to overturn it easily. But still, if you can present a theory on par with Burns, the fight will come down to a verdict. That means either one of the truths might be defeated and denied.
What a laughable script. I'd expect nothing less from a demon's script.
Then let me ask, what is this theory with someone other than Natsu as the culprit?
Battler's golden longsword drew both red and blue curves at will. It's possible to construct a theory in which this was the revenge of the baby from 19 years ago mentioned by Aunt Natsuhi in her confession.
Nox is first. It is forbidden for the culprit to be anyone not mentioned in the early part of the story. A person first introduced in the fifth game cannot be named as the culprit.
What if the baby born from 19 years ago was among us since the very beginning? For example, what if it was me?
Nox is eighth. It is forbidden for the case to be resolved with clues that are not presented. Was there ever any foreshadowing showing that you might be the baby from 19 years ago?
The red truth in the fourth game that I am not the son of my mother, Asumu. The feeling that Dad was hiding something in both the first game and this game. In particular, in this game, it was made clear that there was some special circumstance having to do with my birth. I proposed that he might be the baby from 19 years ago, and announced that he'd reconstructed the crime with himself as the culprit. As Eleanor cautiously held her sword at the ready, she gauged the distance between them. Now, the Battler had inherited the position of this world's territory lord, obtained the rank of endless sorcerer. His movements surpassed human understanding. And now the physical distance between them had probably counted for nothing. After all, their extremely agile battle was surprising to the point where the constant distance made any difference.
A good start. Let us hear your theory with Battler as the culprit.
Yeah, I'll let you hear it. But this explanation also works. Now you can't be certain that Nazi is the culprit.
If you're supposed to be the culprit, that creates several contradictions. I'll use those contradictions to reap your feeble truth. I, Ferrido Erica, the detective and the Witch of Truth, will...
This time, Erica stepped forward. In her hand, there appeared a scythe like one a Grim Reaper might hold. A ruthless scythe for reaping everything that threatened her theory.
It's only possible for the crimes to have taken place during the single hour after midnight. During that 1 hour, you were in the dining hall of the mansion. Therefore, it was impossible for you to commit the crimes.
It had not been specified that the time of death was during the single hour after midnight. Therefore, it's possible the crimes didn't occur between midnight and 1 a.m.
No, Jesus Christ.
Holy shit.
I'll speak exclusively about the murders in the cousin's room. It is impossible for the crime to have been committed in the cousin's room between 1 a.m. and the time of the crime's discovery. Eleanor, no!
Noxus 8th. It is forbidden for the case to be resolved with clues that are not presented. If the crimes actually were carried out in the cousin's room, clues must have been shown. Because clues were not given to the detective, Lady Erica, who was on watch for any abnormalities inside that room until morning, such a crime is impossible.
The time of the crime's discovery refers to the point at which I let out a scream and everyone gathered there. Even if it was impossible to kill them before that point, it's possible that it was possible to kill them afterwards. I'll use a blue flash to deflect both of the red shoots that Erica and Eleanor had flung at him. Erica's eyes went wide. After all, what he had said was completely absurd. At that time, they still hadn't been killed? Even though corpses were with their necks sliced open were lying right there?
That's the four in the cousin's room have been to declare with the red truth. You're trying to use the illusion of the witch? Trying to resurrect George and the others using the concept of magic, even though they were dead at the time?
Let's see. If you believe they were dead by that point, it probably looks as though the dead had been brought back to life to you. It might look like magic in your eyes. In that case, I won't be the one to take the next shot at you.
Ugh. How often do I have to say it? The four in the cousin's room have been declared with the red truth, and their dead bodies were witnessed by a large number of people. They've been declared with the red truth that no examination of any corpse is ever mistaken. Take that, dead people!
To what point in time did the red truth refer? Have you forgotten, miss?
The fierce shower of red was blocked by a magical barrier set up by Ronave, who suddenly appeared right in front of Battler. Now that Beato was gone, the demons shouldn't have been able to manifest themselves in the real world. However, he existed here, and calmly dealt with Erica's attack.
You... Ronave! How did you get here? Well, who cares? This all works out nicely. Now there's no need to go looking for you. I'll capture you here and deny your existence too.
I'll leave it to you. Be sure that you can't control everything with a single arrogant truth.
Yes, your majesty. Well then, allow me to be your opponent for a bit. What do you say, miss?
Red truth pronouncing them dead refer to what point in time, then, according to you? Are you saying that you can pinpoint that? You can't pinpoint it, so you can't disprove that it declared them dead at the time of the crime's discovery!
When this court was opened, Lady Lambda Delta made a proclamation. She said that this was 24 hours answer session. They were pronounced dead at 24:00 on the second day. In other words, at the beginning of the game.
At the end of the game.
Oh, end. That does not deny the possibility that the murder occurred after the morning of the second day, after the so-called discovery of the crime.
You're saying that the victims were alive at that time? Even though their necks were sliced open?
Did you see that yourself, Miss Detective? True, it had been said that no examination of the corpses is ever mistaken no matter who performed it. But it never had been said that there was a rule against describing something other than a corpse as a corpse.
Erica swung her scythe recklessly. The runaway blocked everything with elegant gestures, and with the shield on one of his hands.
So, at the point in time, no one was dead? Not even wounds on their necks! In that case, why did Battler scream?
Better watch your feet, little girl. Ashumi Akindo's already dead at the starting time for all games. Pitch black hole opened beneath Erica's feet and swallowed her up. She could probably see through to the other side of the hole. The same thing you'd see if you looked down out of the skylight in the ceiling of the cathedral. Leia!
Yes.
Regilly could already be seen mid-air inside the cathedral. As Erica fell from the heavens, Regilly was right below her and caught her on the end of a divine spear that sparked blue.
Shouldn't you rethink your reasoning? Kinzo doesn't exist. So therefore, the way that for the bodies to disappear in your theory breaks down.
Correct. Unless someone other than Kinzo makes the corpses disappear, your theory fails.
This is nothing.
Regalia's blew a divine spear, skewered and pinned Erica in midair. Erica struggled, filled with hatred, but she couldn't get out that easily. Then, all around her, several small, fast things clanged off the walls and enveloped her. Then 7 people manifested themselves at once. 7 stakes.
We are the 7 stakes of purgatory. Know this, foe of our master!
You holy paperweights!
After George's death, his body was never moved.
After Jessica's death, her body was never moved.
After Maria's death, her body was never moved.
After Rose's death, her body was never moved.
After Genji's death, his body was never moved.
AC. Avery Clinton Denton, you're needed.
Get your ass on set.
Is he having a mic issue?
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god.
It's lighting up, but there's no voice.
Removed.
Okay, you're good
Say it again
now.
now. Say it now.
Do it again, do it again.
After Cross's death, his body was never moved.
Therefore, the bodies couldn't have vanished after being discovered. Your theory about Kinzo carrying the bodies away breaks down!
So what? Even without Kinzo, I can explain how the corpses... Furuto Eric has revised my theory! I do, the detective does!
Even with Kinzo's existence denied, Erica's probably capable of escaping this by making only a small revision to her theory. However, to her, having to revise a theory she had already created was extremely humiliating. Looks like you've toed around with your plan too much in order to corner Natsuhi like that.
You played around too much with your reasoning. At this point, your master isn't the only one who can speak of Kinzo's death with red truth.
This is what you get for playing around in the witch's darkness. Know that, Furudo Erika.
Of course, even Erica doubted Kinzo's existence from the beginning. However, it had previously been impossible for anyone to deny his existence in that trial. Except for Burncastle and Lambda Delta, who had sided with each other. Because of that, the willful silence of those two, the truth about Kinzo had truly been unfixed. And yet, to think that Battler had become a witch, sorcerer, and capable of using red without proof. However, she had her own Inquisitor of Heresy, who could also use red without proof to counter.
Eleanor!
Noxus second. It is forbidden for supernatural agencies to be employed as detective technique. If you intend on showing that Kinzo has died with the red truth, I demand you present evidence of a human truth supporting such a statement.
Forgive me, damn geezer.
Overcome it, Battler! Don't let my corpse stop you!
Presentation of evidence. I present a body which can be identified as Ushirimiya Kinzo.
Can you prove that this is Ushirimiya Kinzo's body? No matter how much it resembles him, unless you can prove that it is him. It is possible to claim that it is a substitute corpse from someone else. Can you show that this is the body, Kinzo's body with human truth alone? In this one case, I will treat any rebuttal that uses only the red truth as invalid.
Rebuttal.
Oh. Any counter with the red truth will be invalid. I guess that works.
It may be true that the existence of third-party corpses have already been denied with the red. However, saying that with the red is forbidden. Battler has nowhere to run to.
That's right. In this closed-off Rokinjima, there is no objective way to show that this corpse is grandfather's.
Itself suggests the possibility that this corpse is a body double. This unidentifiable body cannot serve as proof of Kinzo's death.
Checkmate! My theory is rock solid!
Eleanor had sealed off the red truth as a means of proving that Kinzo's corpse had been shown. Even with the power of witches, Battler couldn't argue back.
How are you going to prove that the corpse is Kinzo's if the red truth is sealed? It's impossible. It can't be done.
With red or blue, right?
I guarantee that this is the corpse of Ushirimiya Kinzo! Then, when Delanor met with Battler's golden flash, she was able to fully block it with either her red longsword or her blue shortsword. She was blown backwards into empty space. It was a direct hit, without any miscalculation. Though she'd always seemed as firm as a small giant before now. She was finally blasted away and slammed against the wall as though she was the slender girl she appeared to be.
Eleanor, what are you?
A splendid gold truth. It is valid.
Gold truth?
The golden longsword, which had been drawing red and blue trails before now, finally drew a curve that retained its divine golden color. The truth it showed was neither red nor blue. It was gold truth!
What is that? Lambda, does this follow the rules?
Yes. Gold truth valid. The gold truth can only be used by the territory lord of this world. No, only by the game master himself.
What did you say?
Gold truth. A divine truth woven in a different fashion than the red truth. Its strength is on par with the red truth. It may sometimes be inferior, but sometimes it is superior.
That glitter is proof that Battler-kun truly understands Beato.
I've shown it. Some of the corpse is grandfather's.
Yes. Gold truth accepted. Unless Lady Erica's theories undergo some revision, it will be destroyed.
Erica cried out in pain. It wasn't the pain of her body being pierced. The pain of her own theory being defiled.
I see. It's like... And then there were no Archroids. Just when did this... What a crazy mashup of great works!
Battler, it would be excessively unrefined to say any more. Even without saying another word, you fully made your truth about the corpse's disappearance understood. I see that thing you're thinking of doesn't conflict with any of the reds in this trial so far. Your truth based around the revenge of the man from 19 years ago has been completely understood and processed. I proclaim that your truth has now been established.
What? Why is that? Great Lady Lambda Delta? He still hasn't even explained everything! I still have many ways to argue back, like Hideyoshi's closed room, the Natsuhi's personal room, and the button in the closet!
Do you really still think you're capable of defeating Battler's argument?
Only Erica, the one who supposedly is so intelligent, couldn't understand. That Battler had already reached the real truth. Grandfather's absence has therefore been proven. The dishonorable relationship between Natsuhi and Grandfather has been removed from consideration. Natsuhi is pure and faithful. However, with this vulgar tale you're all so fond of.
Battler-kun!
Furthermore, because doubts have been raised about the time of death for all who have died so far, the alibis for everyone besides Natsuhi are null and void. The argument that that the crimes couldn't have been committed by anyone except Natsuhi no longer stands. Nora must have risen to her knees at some point, slowly stood up. The flash from the golden longsword was still buried deep into her chest. The pain didn't show in her expression. Her awkward movements clearly showed how serious the damage she had taken was. Even though she herself had acknowledged that knew that the match was long over by now, Delanor didn't abandon her duty.
However, in the cousin's room, you witnessed dead bodies which were impossible to misidentify. Are you trying to say that was a falsehood? Noxus 7th, it is forbidden for the detective to be the culprit. The detective is obligated to keep an objective point of view. Your theory would mean you violated this obligation.
Kuruno Erica is the detective in this game, not me! By Noxus 9th, observers are permitted to put forward their own conclusions and interpretations.
Noxus 8th, it is forbidden for a case to be resolved with clues that are not presented. Until now, you have been the detective. Was it ever shown that you were not the detective this time, and that you were an observer with a subjective viewpoint? Unless it was, you do not have the right to falsify your point of view.
In this game, I forget the device of the epitaph's riddle. I witnessed Grandfather. As has already been shown in red, Grandfather doesn't exist. It's impossible for me to witness him. Therefore, it's already been shown that my viewpoint wasn't objective.
It is possible that it was just a sheet or something fluttering in the wind and rain which you mistook for Kinzo. It cannot be used as foreshadowing to form a basis for Noxus 9th. Mistaking things for something else is a right permitted to all observers.
The red truth is Beato showed during the 4th game. The first mistake is Shirmi Akinzo by sight. The red truth Beato used to counter my blue truth claim that someone disguised themselves as Kinzo. Make it seem as though Grandfather had appeared. In other words, on this island, I think it might lead someone to visually mistake something for Grandfather, including someone else pretending to be Grandfather, cannot ever work. All of Aunt Natsuya's schemes to make it seem Grandfather existed were hidden in the relatives' blind spots. All of them clever tricks like he was just here a second ago, or he's in his study alone now. Never try to make anyone mistake something that they saw for Grandfather himself. There are no contradictions. They tried to dress one of the servants in Grandfather's robe. It probably would have been seen through as in an instant. It has been guaranteed that none of the characters in this tale would mistake something for Grandfather by sight. Someone claims to have seen Grandfather. Despite that, it becomes a lie. Allowing lies to be contained within their observations is a right guaranteed to everyone, except for just one person. And that person is the detective! Because of the right granted by Noxus 9th, everyone's allowed to make a sheet in the wind for something else and talk mistakenly about what they saw. However, mistaking for Grandfather in particular was not permitted in this game due to the red truth.
Once you claim you have seen Kinzo, it was no longer misrecognition, but intentional. In other words, this proves that the observer was not objective. Is that what you are saying?
In this case, unintentional misrecognition is not permitted by the rules of this game. However, it is possible to intentionally lie about seeing something you never saw. And that isn't actually permitted to a detective, who is obligated to maintain impartial perspective. Forgive my crazy argument. It's all finished now.
No, it's okay. Because men like you exist in this world, you will surely protect the fragile truth from any kind of pride. You will surely protect the real truth from the tyranny of any plausible truth that might claim to exist as the sole truth and try to exterminate all fragile truths.
Atmo's golden longsword drew a massive blue arc as though splitting the heavens.
I'm glad I could fight with you.
Therefore, my perspective in this particular game is based upon the 9th commandment, not the 7th. The fact that I'm claimed to have seen Grandfather is proof! The noise that rang out across the cathedral was the sound of Delanor's longsword clattering to the floor. Simply letting go of that was the same as resigning to the proud Delanor. The blue trail Balor had drawn was aiming right for the top of Delanor's head. It stopped a hair's breadth away. If it hadn't, Eleanor would probably have been annihilated without leaving a single scrap of her flesh behind. Blah, 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 blah.
I resign. I give up on denying your truth.
I've paid my debt. Let honor be to your father. The Decalogue was neither arrogant nor judgmental.
Honor to my father.
Eleanor sat down on the floor, completely abandoned her will to fight.
What are you doing, Delanor? Lame! You stupid half-wit murder doll! It's the honor of your own father! Shame on you! You still call yourselves mysteries wedges? Will you turn into magic? The history of the mystery genre won't allow that!
You're the one. You understand what mystery is all about. You see, a mystery is nothing more than a weapon in which to sneer at your opponent intellectually. I won't let you ever say so again!
Battler!
I've been sure the conflict conflicts with yours. A Nazi was threatened by a phone call over the internet, the internal line made by the man from 19 years ago. Me! He's able to make a Nazi look like a murderer. From the beginning, this has all been a drama of revenge intent on framing at Nazi.
Wrong! It's a drama of revenge against the Ashurmia family planned by Nazi! Your theory outright opposes mine!
Still can't pull out the blue spear that's sticking through you, right?
Yeah, that's right. From Erica, I haven't heard a single way for the corpses to disappear that doesn't involve Kinzo. Looks like your theory's about to be denied, doesn't it?
The spirit... Paperweights! Get out of my way!
Deeply piercing blue spear and the 7 red stakes tormented her theory. They won't come out.
They won't come out!
I acknowledge the mistake in Erica's reasoning and the need for revision.
What the... My master?
Watching Erica's face contort with pain as she struggled to escape from the spear, Berncastle spoke this with a disgusted expression. Faced with the facts, Berncastle acknowledged Erica's loss herself. Erica gazed at her master, who was no longer confident in Erica's own victory, with a mixture of shock and despair.
I don't give a damn about your pride. How long do you intend to shame yourself like that? You, my double who's been granted the same blue hair as me. How long do you intend to hang there pierced through like that? I guess I'll just have to descend myself. Looks like I didn't need a piece after all. Ugh, what a pain. What a pain. What a total pain. I don't need a piece, I'll just throw it away. Yeah. That disappointing, regretful, discouraging, hopeless letdown of a misfire. Do it quickly, filth. Didn't I tell you to revise that pathetic theory of yours?
Yes, my master. Revise it. Revise my theory. Yeah!
As Erica's face twisted in humiliation and tears streamed from her eyes, she withdrew and revised her own theory in accordance with her master's orders. Humbling quietly, she made various revisions with the blue truth. Had them acknowledged by Lambda Delta, and finally had the blue spear smashed and was freed. The blue truth did indeed explain how the corpses had disappeared. It couldn't conceal its desperation and was a bit of a truly shabby reasoning.
My master. I've taken it out. My theory is perfect.
Are you kidding me? It's horribly pathetic. But I'll forgive you. Because your face and your theory is so lame, it's funny.
Erica was taunted by her master, who wore an ugly expression. She rested on the floor, crying bitter tears. The wounded Delanor stepped out before her, as though shielding her, and she spoke with Berncastle, as well as Battler. Spoke to Berncastle as Battler.
Regardless of how pathetic it may be, Lady Erica's revised truth is valid.
Yeah, that's right. Regardless of my truth, yours can exist at the same time. That's what this world is like. You can disprove them, so even if there are your various truths, and even if they contradict each other wildly, they can exist at the same time. As many truths exist as you can imagine. No one can just deny that all on their own.
Yes, that is true. I won't let anyone deny Lady Erica's truth.
Eleanor!
As long as I am here, I will protect that truth. No matter how pathetic it is, I will not laugh at that truth.
The words of Delanor, whom Erica had previously looked down upon, led Erica to once again thrash about on the floor, sobbing. And because no unique truth exists, everything is covered in darkness. Therefore, both my theory and Erica's theories are impossible to deny. Neither is a unique truth. They are vague, and while neither can be denied, neither is certain. Because there has been no decision, the illusion of the witch still exists. The only one who will be permitted to expose it is neither Erica nor the rest of you. It's me alone! Won't let anyone expose Beatrice's illusion except me!
The verdict is revised. Because of the truth presented by Ushimiya Battler, Erica's truth is no longer unique. However, Erica's truth is impossible to disprove. Therefore, both of their truths exist together. The conclusion of the 5th game is rescinded. The game goes back to being even. And I transfer the position of Game Master from myself to the Golden Sorcerer, Ushimiya Battler. Ushimiya Battler, step forward. I appoint you as the new Game Master. Will you accept? You will, right? Do it, you new endless witch.
Yeah! I'm the new Game Master. I'll lead the 6th game. Erica, something's for good this time. Stand up!
Yes. We'll stand. I'll make you regret giving me a chance to clear away this shame. My master, please give me an opportunity to fight with Battler again in the 6th game.
Sure. Of course I'll give you a chance.
Wow, incredible. She said, I'll give you a chance. Isn't this a miracle from the Witch of Miracles, Birkenstock?
Erica? You've miraculously managed to escape with your life. In the 6th game, Battler's game, expose the truth no matter what. Unless you want to be tossed aside into the darkness of oblivion.
Yes, my master! Eleanor!
Of course. I will give it my all in the next game as well.
I won't pretend to be a guest any longer. Together with Delanor, I'll tear your game to bits!
Sure. I'll invite you to my 6th game. Sorry, but that title of yours, Checkmate of the... isn't cutting it.
It's your game, so you can decide the name yourself. Just bring it on! Burrito Erica, I'm a detective before I am a witch! I acknowledge you as the new master of this game, and I issue a proclamation of war! Definitely expose it all! Kill you! Golden Sorcerer! Ushimiya Battler!
Yeah. And with all you've got! Murudo Erika! Just watch, Biano. I'll take charge of your game. And this next game, I'll prove that I completely understand all of your riddles.
That was me.
I
Oh.
am loving where this is going.
Hold up.
Oh yeah, listen.
Exactly.
Shout out to Enzaki. And CTS!
Everyone loves Doughy Hiranori.
He kind of. Look at these random font sizes.
Ooh.
Oh, by the way, that song is called Tsubasa. Which,
Yeah,
if
that's
you haven't
clever.
noticed up to this point, is Battler's like leitmotif in a bunch of the music in the game.
Whew.
Tsubasa means wing, like
Yeah,
the
it's-
one-winged eagle.
Oh my god. Good job, everybody.
Hey, I got my mic to work. How's everybody doing?
Hey, Con.
Hey.
I take it you liked what you saw Kaneko.
Yes, I did!
Mhm.
I hate to say it though, like a part of me though still has a bit of trouble feeling sympathy for Byato. Just with all the torture stuff, it's
Nightmare
still in my
mode.
head.
Find your sympathy for Erica.
But where is the love, Bo?
Without love, Bone can't be seen. Come on.
My sympathy
Without the love for Erica, Zaz can't be seen.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would like to bury Erica in the sand.
It's not like a problem of sympathy,
Hey,
it's a
man.
thing with empathy rather
Yeah.
than sympathy.
My sympathy for Erica is about as dead as a hooker in GTA 5.
I almost really want to fucking play the start of the sixth one, but we will refrain from doing that for now.
Yeah, let's
Are you
not.
sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?
Sure, you don't want to.
Yeah,
you don't want to
I
play
vote
the
no.
first prologue.
I vote no.
It'd
I
be-
vote no.
I
The
think
prologue will be pretty great.
The prologue
There also is a discussion that will happen because
the prologue. Oh shit! The prologue is very short, and it's very funny.
That sounds like a great reason to do it right now.
Right? That is an argument for
Actually,
my
the
case.
perfect reason.
Yeah.
Let's
yeah.
go out on a high note.
Yeah, let's.
All
You know
right,
what?
that's true.
You know what? Let's
You know what?
do
Let's
it.
fuck it up.
Let's give the people what they want.
That was a high note.
Wait,
but this
wait,
is
hold on.
also-
Wait, hold on. Was it?
It's
That
like
was a
it-
pretty high note.
The prologue is like 10 minutes, maybe.
It's literally 10 minutes.
Fine. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Discussion afterwards.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
We
Hold
have a
on.
literal discussion, and some things have probably people have had, so we might need to give them more time.
No, here's what we do: is we end it here, and then we do the prologue very quickly tomorrow, and then like end it.
No,
it's not an actual.
Tomorrow's
Oh wait, can we read the header for episode 6?
Okay.
Well, I mean, like, if we aren't gonna read, if you aren't gonna do the opening, there's not much of a point.
Also, it makes
That's
it a
fair.
real pain in the ass to edit.
All right, Joshy. Only because
It's
I
gonna
like
feel
you.
so fucking disjointed when people.
Only because I
Wow.
like you,
It's
Joshy.
okay.
It's-
Okay, I
Man
like.
who has never edited before yells at editor.
I like to make things concise, and then I will have.
That
to
makes it
this-
sound like I guess I can't edit it as good as I thought I could.
It's just it makes it a little bit easier on my life not to have to go get 2 VODs and then cut them up to fit into one singular.
I mean,
you have
hey,
to get
Orange.
2 VODs anyway.
Orange, what if you cut the stream and then restart it real quick?
I mean,
No, because then we'd have to read it twice.
I'm personally fine with waiting. That was a lot of stuff that happened.
Yeah.
That was a lot to take
Like,
in, man.
I'm someone that's in the Fight Club, and like I am of the opinion that I think we should probably end it, have a discussion now and end it here. But I seem to be outvoted, so.
No, I kind of agree with
whatever you
that,
find
but I would
appropriate.
just. Can we just read the prologue next time, but then don't actually
I
do the
got you
episode?
convinced me. I think we should wait till next time.
Yeah, that way it creates.
We gotta wait a week though.
It's alright, Orange. It's just.
It's alright, we can wait.
You've gone through this like twice already.
I know, but I love it with all of my heart and soul.
Listen, Orange has gone through it twice. I've gone through it so many times I've forgotten the number. It's fine.
All right,
I
fine.
say let's wait.
Okay, we'll
Personally.
wait. That's
Alright.
fine.
We will wait.
We'll give the people.
Or
We'll give
Orange,
the
I
people what
know
we
your
want.
mouse is hovered. You're ready to click any millisecond. You're
His
sweating.
boner is so large.
Your palms are sweating.
just-
You are like,
it's-
I want it, 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 I want it. And I know you have the dead
Knees
focus
weak,
of a
arms are
sniper.
heavy.
Can't blame him,
He's got
TBA.
vomit on his
Yeah,
sweater
like, no,
already.
Mom's
it's not like
spaghetti.
it's
It is
not
an
like his
amazing
reasoning is
song.
invalid.
It's
It
my
is a
favorite
beautiful song.
opening to
Reality.
anything ever.
Yeah,
It's
but
so
it's valid.
Let's start the
good.
next one on a strong start.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I just saw
Orange.
that
Well-
opening. That opening would be shit to leave on.
Well, Joshy,
I'm gonna
you
be
see, now that
real.
you-
No,
It would be
that's bad.
funny.
No, that's
It
bad.
would be so funny.
I would like to
I can
suggest-
see merit both ways, but I am erring on the side
but-
of we just wait for next week
But
for
think
it
of-
to be as crazy as possible.
But
You know
Just
what?
hold on.
You know what? It'll be a week until we see it, so it will be worth the wait then.
But think of the discussion that immediately that
It would be
We're gonna have that discussion anyways. It's gonna happen.
But then it's not gonna be just the opening. It's gonna be everything after a long while after that too. Discussion that focuses on just the
No,
opening of
it's
episode 6
yeah,
has
yeah.
Okay,
It would be.
okay,
it would be
it's too late
amazing,
now.
but
It's good.
No,
We're
just,
good.
Let's just go. Just
All right,
don't
fine.
don't
The
do it.
accident.
Congratulations,
wasn't your fault,
Joshy. You've moved from having to just clip out a 10 minutes of a VOD into a 10-minute discussion on why we shouldn't do the thing that was going to make your job harder. We've still made your job difficult.
No,
10
actually,
minutes.
cutting shit from a VOD's not hard. It's cutting it from one VOD and bringing it to the other because, hey, it takes sometimes an hour upwards to import it to a new thing.
I mean, I was gonna say it
that's
sounds like a
easy
copy
to
paste.
It's
That's
not.
so easily
Copy
solved.
Not that
pasting in
simple.
Premiere is not easy as it sounds.
This is simple as simply.
Sounds
copy
like
the-
I don't
copy
know
the
anything
screen
about
and-
editing.
Okay, children, settle down. It is time for a discussion.
Alright,
We have
I'm gonna
met-
go through notes. I should have done that earlier, but I wasn't sure if we were doing this or not.
All right,
Do,
fine.
do y'all want to take some time to gather your thoughts?
It will take a
Here,
few
Umineko,
minutes.
Give your reaction first. Give your reaction.
Hold on a second, I gotta change this actually. There's now a miscalculation here on the waiting screen now because it says Erica time and that it's markedly incorrect.
Oh, get it off! Oh, it's disgusting.
Here, hold on. Here, give me a
Yeah,
second.
exactly.
Hold on a second.
Oh.
I'm glad that if you look up Battler Shiramiya is one of like the first responses.
Because nothing else is called. What the fuck else is called?
Which,
Yeah,
don't look up
Battler-
the spoilers.
Annoying.
Which I know, crazy. There's spoilers if you look up the protagonist of a story.
Nobody else really says fight, man.
I mean, it's like, well, no, it's just like Battler is a pretty general term still.
Yeah, people
One
usually
who
say fighter.
battled.
Like,
It's an incredibly
Say fighter.
uncommon name,
Yeah.
however.
People would say fighter instead.
What? I have met a battler once.
Alright.
Where the
Yeah.
fuck were you at? Where you
Okay.
met
Alright.
someone named Bat?
I've also
Get this.
I also met a
Get this
cross
creature out of
once.
here.
Oh, look, it's something much prettier than that purple. Than
Well,
that blue
okay, wait.
thing.
Was it someone you met at an anime convention?
No.
I would not think it too crazy to think there is someone who has legally changed their name to Battler.
Where their parents.
I was
You know there's gotta be more than zero.
You should have had a pointing sprite and like poke her in the eye.
Person named Audio Science, so I believe.
Audio
anything.
jungle.
Oh, there is.
Also make it golden. Make it gold, the butler.
Make the text? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm surprised his hair didn't stand up and turn a golden yellow color after a prolonged screaming.
Well, that would just be a little messed up.
Anyways,
You
Orange,
should've
give me
taken you,
5, bro. We
Robu.
carried that. That was beautiful. Good shit.
To type
Thank
Battler
you.
into Google.
I was like actually genuinely like tearing up a little bit during that
I'm
whole
so
thing.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I was crying too hard for like while fucking Yakuza was playing. I was like,
course, of course, the
Mm.
one time my mic fucks up and like the million times
When
it
we-
hasn't.
That
The
we-
that
one
good flow.
fucking time.
God.
When he said not to his spirit,
I
fucking primed me for the line.
I was like, read the line. I'm like, oh yeah, I read the line. Like, AC, are you there? Are you there? I'm like, I read the line. Oh god damn it.
Me, the screen director. Avery, get your fucking ass on set.
Also, I had to
set, but
fucking. I had to. Oh, hold on, real quick. I had to bounce between like 5 different roles. Because I was fighting myself, I was Balor, fucking, I had to be 45, I was Belphegor for a line, and I was Kinzo for a line.
I like how you said myself and Battler, implying you are Erica.
Oh my god!
You are the detective of that story.
I can't believe
Rudy.
Orange is asswife.
Alright, so would you like
Okay,
me to
Oedipus.
give my thoughts?
If you are
Oh,
ready,
not
we
this
can have a
specific.
legitimate discussion. Let's go.
Alright.
You really are George.
I saw
Well,
one
okay,
of the
hold on.
reds.
One more thing really quickly, sorry. What's the name of the song again that goes like...
The Lambda song?
What?
That sounds like
it's a-
Gourmet Race.
Yo, God, how do I describe it? It's like, it's like, it has like the
No,
fucking...
I know the one you're talking about.
Wait.
I'll find it right now. Hold on.
Thanks.
Was that Hello My Dream?
That's asswife.
No, it's
That's
AC Wife.
Wife?
No, it's AC Wife.
Let me see.
No,
Well,
not
we
Fishy
have-
Rumor, Suspicious Scent.
Huh?
It was playing during the... It's like right when Balor was like getting up.
So,
Nope, not that one.
I will state this. AC had played a cruel twist of fate and referred to Erica as Zaz's wife.
Yeah,
Wait, that was Zaz's wife?
yeah, that's why Erica.
We weren't gonna reveal it, but okay.
I mean, like, when were we gonna reveal?
Never. It was like, if no one ever pointed it out, we were never going to talk about it.
I had the deadline be the entirety of episode 5. I said that multiple times in Fight Club.
I saw Abyss mention Erica being AC wife, and I had actually
He is-
forgot about the Zaz wife thing.
He is a
And-
liar who
No, it's
spews
because he's
poison
right.
and forgeries, and he should not be trusted with a single ounce of trust within your soul.
I feel like
Alright.
Orange wife, given how much he loves voicing her. I
Yeah,
can
you know what?
You know what? Fair.
I'm willing to take. I'm willing to don the mantle. I'm willing to don the Black Spider-Man suit and say that Erica is Orange wife.
But
Huh? Yeah, what?
What?
You
by
good?
Black Spider-Man suit, you mean
The
Peter
symbiote
Parker?
suit.
Symbiote suit, yeah, the symbiote.
What else would they mean?
We're talking about the suit itself.
All right, never mind. Is it Hello Dream?
Should I still wait to give my thoughts?
No, you can go. You can go. I'm just finding music.
Alright. In one of the reds, it said Beato wanted you to solve this game. She made this game, the riddles of this tale, solvable. I assume that ties into that thing that she wanted Battler to remember from, was it 4 years ago?
Yes.
Alright. That was a thought. Does the first Knox rule apply to accomplices? The
Wait,
one
what?
about the culprit needs to be part of like the original cast. Can accomplices count later on?
Yes.
Does that have to be part of the original cast?
Yes.
Are you okay? I guess that's an answer. I'm scrolling down, see if I had any more. Okay, I guess we threw out the idea of Battler being the mysterious son from 19 years ago, due to it not having to do with the Beato secret thing. But I guess we shouldn't have discounted it because that doesn't necessarily relate to Natsui.
Also, there was a red truth saying that he's still related by blood, so...
Scrolling, see if I had anything else.
It's still a possible truth that exists.
But his mom is not the original mom he thought he was.
You really should get one of those pet gifts, like with the big hand for Battler or Beato. You know the pet emotes?
No.
I'm down to orange. I guess you can't hear. So for what
Bring
reason?
in the
Yeah, no, I know.
gift.
I'm muted so you guys can have your discussion. Focus on that, please.
So for what reason did Battler lie about seeing Kenzo, the Peace Battler?
technically he was not the actual focus point because, Erica basically says, I'm the detective. I'm Dwee. I'm a big detective boy.
I don't know what that had to do with what I was saying.
Detective Fuckboy?
Huh?
No, butt boy. But whatever.
Huh?
Butt boy?
Huh?
Don't worry about it.
No.
So, for what reason could Peace Battler have for lying about seeing Kinzo? Any thoughts?
It could be a bluff, or it could have actually happened. You don't know.
No, he's.
What was the question?
For what reason did Peace Battler lie about seeing Kinzo?
In the game?
Yes.
Well, there's a part where they're like, oh, Battler's not playing, so Burn and Lambda are going to take over. So Peace Battler was not being controlled by Battler himself during that time.
That means they're two separate battlers.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm talking about the Peace Battler, though.
Yeah, that's why.
Peace Battler wasn't under control of regular Battler for that part of the game because that was the part of the game where Battler quit.
Which means Battler can only assume what the Peace Battler was thinking at that time. It could possibly go ahead and be interpreted into his truth.
I'm kind of lost.
Have you seen Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 5 where there's like...
Wait, Crimson!
Maybe a different example.
Oh, okay. I'll think of it later.
Oh, did Morienda? Wait, Morienda says that they gave the reason for why he lied. Did they?
Maybe we'll find out in episode 6.
Okay, I guess they didn't give the reason.
No, they did. You just forgot.
Yeah, you kinda did.
Missed it. Can I get a refresher? No?
Since you asked, the whole point of the reason for why he was lying was because he's not the detective. His opinion, his viewpoint is not objective. Therefore, he's not. That's basically his reasoning for why he isn't the detective in this story. Erica is. Which means that his opinion, his viewpoint and his opinions can be falsified because he's not the detective. The detective has to be objective. He was not objective, therefore he is not the detective in this story. And the reason and that's important because, like, that means that he can show things that are false, basically.
It's also like it means he's not quite an observer because observers put forward their own conclusions, but he can't be what he said couldn't be a mistake, could not possibly be a mistake, which means it was not just an observer misinterpreting what they saw.
And thus, in the Red Truth, he stated, that means his perspective in the game is based on the 9th, not the 7th.
Okay. I feel like maybe I missed something here because I'm still kind of like I'm talking like we're all talking about like that moment from In the Forest, right? We're like right before he discovered the treasure.
Yeah, he saw Kinzo.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't have been possible because Kinzo doesn't exist at the time. However, so what that means is that Battler's viewpoint cannot be objective because he lied about seeing Kinzo because he couldn't have seen Kinzo.
Okay, so what was the reason that he did that?
Because if Battler was the detective of this story, then his viewpoint...
I think he's asking why the Peace Battler lied, not why...
Yeah,
Oh.
that's what I said.
We're not too sure.
Well,
it's simple.
I'm asking for theories.
I think he's asking...
I think
Oh, okay. You're asking a little bit higher... Okay, you're asking of a little bit of a higher caliber than we can actually describe to you, so good luck.
Yeah, that's why I was asking like Kaneko, Crimson, Robert.
Bone, please allow me to explain. Maybe it's simple. He lied about seeing Kinzo so that he could deflect suspicion off himself.
Alright, cool.
because it fits his own personal truth of him possibly being the 19th person who committed the murders.
Alright. Cool. Because I don't remember much about, like, that specific event because bad memory. So yeah, like, I basically just remember him talking to Kinzo, and that's about the extent of my memory there. And Kinzo saying, "You did good, boy."
Next bit.
That's all I have.
Anybody else got anything?
Crimson, it actually seemed like you might have had some stuff.
This is more of an overall theory, not this particular episode theory.
Theory?
Go for it.
Well, I'm thinking that there's actually another person on the island, but he's actually pretending, or actually inhabiting another person's identity.
Okay, wait, hold on a second. Elaborate on that a bit further. What do you mean by that?
Well, you know the 19th person 19 years ago? I kind of thought, wait, if that orphanage basically, you know, the orphanage that Kenzo basically helped runs and so forth, there could have been a situation that another person who has a similar genetic makeup.
That would violate Nox's rules.
It really would.
No. I'm just saying as a concept of another person from that orphanage that was similar to another person also could be on this island.
So are you saying that this is like a person independent from the group that we've seen, or is it somebody who's already that we've met already?
He might have been already been shown, but he might have been mistaken for another person.
Well, unfortunately, this character would have had to have been a part of the early story, so one of the humans introduced in episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
However, this isn't exactly an orthodox tale that could follow the Decalogue.
It does follow the Decalogue.
I'm talking about all-encompassing with every chapter we've read thus far. Episode? It gets very hard to tell apart if it's just chapter or episode to call them that. Also, didn't I kind of postulate that?
Alright, okay, hold on. Okay, so yes, it's stated in the game that doesn't necessarily obey the Decalogue. But remember, these can be solved.
Mm-hmm.
And it is also... Okay, hold on a second.
I'm relatively sure there was a red for this.
Are you talking about the red for solving it?
Hold on a second.
Crimson has typed his theory in Live General.
Okay.
Ooh.
There's another person who's actually been seen before, but they look like another character and pretending to be that character. Okay, that's a perfectly reasonable theory. Alright.
And I know who it might be because there's only like 1 or 2 people that could fit the category of certain things.
Who would that be?
Canon. Because probably, and this is me thinking because of other episodes within those particular episodes, not for this particular episode, but in other episodes, this is the reason why I'm not for sure on this one, is that maybe there's another person who is sort of disguising themselves as canon, and they've been seen already beforehand, and you don't know which one it is. Think about it. And also, it also explains why Jessica probably trying to commit her love to this person might have been like, whatever, I don't care. Well, the real canon go like, oh, I kind of do love her, I would have said it beforehand. Like, there's 2 different personalities going at play.
I would actually, sorry to interrupt, but I would like to actually know, what is the golden truth again? Can I actually get
Okay, so we can elaborate a little bit on what the golden truth is. Because number one, no, it is not a truth that is higher than the truth. The golden truth is on the same level as a red truth. However, because Battler is the game lord, he is the territory lord, he is able to say it. The golden truth can sometimes be greater or weaker than the regular red truth.
So that just means that, like, they brought up something about overriding a red truth. Like, I feel like there was another word. But, like, they were saying, no, you can't use just a red truth, you actually have to prove it. Didn't they say that at one point?
Well, to be fair, okay, so for Miranda in the chat, Delanor literally explained what the gold truth is. Or at the very least, like, in the simplest terms imaginable.
Okay, so I take it there's more to it. I'll take you for that.
Yeah.
Alright, so from what I'm getting is just, you don't tell me what to do. This is what it is.
Because Battler has obtained knowledge of the truth, he can say that something is completely true, essentially.
Also, Khan, to say that something is truer than true is basically just reality manipulation at that point.
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially what he's doing.
He's not, though. He's
There's
just stating, he's making a factual statement, but he can just say it because he's the guy who's running the show now.
You
Like,
played
it's
D&D.
just, it's basically just, you can't tell me what to do, I rule this world.
You play D&D. Battler is now the game master. What he says goes.
No.
If it's D&D, then he would be the dungeon master.
Yes.
The game master is used in alternative games based on dungeon master because it is a trademark term of
Also, Dungeon Master cannot manipulate the truth in any way, shape, or form. The territory lore cannot manipulate the truth in any way, shape, or form. The Dungeon Master can change to whatever he needs to.
Wow, really?
I don't think you're gonna see Battler parting the Red Sea.
The only limits to being a dungeon master are your limits for anyone to believe you.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well, damn.
But yeah, no, there is no quote unquote truth that is higher than the truth. That's not how this works.
Also, Crimson, were you gonna say more things?
Can I still take this as a win?
No.
It's a W to me, Con. Con, it's a W to me.
Guys. Okay, moving on. Who wants to go next?
Was there more? Wait, I kind of took over Crimson's slot, so Crimson, was there more you wanted to say? Grim?
What I'm basically saying is that we actually seen this other version of canon before, but we never knew because he basically blended perfectly as canon, and canon already knows that this person exists already on the island as well, but he doesn't care about it because whatever. For whatever reason he has.
Sorry, B, but also, I can kind of see Canon possibly being a culprit because, while he has very good reason to, in general, but he has seemed kind of spiteful towards the family at times.
That could have been the other guy.
You know, thinking back on this, it could actually be Shannon instead of that role. If you'll recall, earlier in the story, Natsuhi stated that her favorite season is autumn, but she only told that otherwise to Shannon.
She could have told it to Canon.
No, she couldn't have. Oh wait, you mean Shannon could have told it to Canon? Yeah, maybe.
Or
you could be right, Con, that it could have been Shannon as well, but personally I'm going with Canon because of other things that happened in other episodes in those particular moments.
This is an interesting theory.
I can't believe Shannon's a snitch.
Well, I'm basically saying there's a doppelganger around in the sense of the term.
Doppelganger? Wait, did
Double walk, another person. A person pretending to be another person, or a similar concept to that.
No, I know what a doppelganger is.
Wait, say what? Run that back, Con?
No, I know what a doppelganger is.
Oh.
And also...
I feel like this would be less of a situation of a doppelganger or more of an imposter.
That too, but I'm just saying it could have been that the person that he's trying to copy already knew that this person exists but didn't care because whatever. Until it started to become, oh crap, this person might have had malicious intent.
What if it was malicious intent from the beginning?
That could have been true too.
Wait, I feel like everything in this has been malicious intent.
Well, no arguments.
Like, I feel like there's nothing but hate among everybody here except for the kids, not including Maria.
Well, with childhood comes an assured innocence. Whenever you're a kid, you don't really want to hate everything, but you just love unconditionally.
No.
Until your innocence is forever snapped, but...
I don't think that Maria is innocent. I mean, I don't think she's the culprit, but I don't think she's innocent.
Don't you remember that we discussed whenever Maria cackled, it was her imagining torturing her mother?
That was, that was like Orange's old theory that he gave before.
Yeah, I know. That card is still on the table, though.
Different strokes for different folks, man.
What?
I know, but can I quote an Okanogi quote from my boy?
Okanogi?
Without love, it cannot be seen.
Alright. Yeah, everybody here loves each other. I think everybody here absolutely loves their family or do anything for them. That's my theory.
Okay.
Anybody else got anything else they want to say?
I will go ahead
And by
and
love,
say,
I mean level of violence.
I will go ahead and say it's pretty interesting to see Battler as the new game master for this, with Erica as his opponent. He's now in Beato's prior position. This is gonna be delicious.
I hope Erica gets bullied more.
Oh, same here.
At this point in the story, I'm not against drop kicking Erica though.
I want Battler to shove her into a locker.
Why a locker, though?
Because that'd be funny. And she would
Because that's
probably
what bullies
fit well.
do, Con.
He then proceeds to do cross chops at her. No, crotch chops, I mean.
What's a crotch chop?
Yeah, I'll find a gif of it. It's like a kind of taunt.
I mean, I've seen a cross chop over... Oh, that's what that is!
Yes, it is a wrestling taunt move popularized by the tag team stable of Degeneration X.
Oh, I always wondered what that was. I thought they were just trying to dry their balls.
They also tend to accompany it with the illustrative words, suck it.
Alright, hey, hold on a second. We're getting a little bit off track here. Does anybody think of anything Umineko related to talk about, please?
No, everything else here is pretty much said and done.
Alright, cool. In that case, we are good and done. Thank you all so much for watching. We're gonna have some fun next week. Also, I guess Wednesday for when we do the silver case. Hopefully for real this time.
Looking forward to that.
It's not like
Alrighty
a
then.
full ass week. It's gonna be Friday still.
I think I'm gonna take Friday off. Alright, good night, everybody.
What?
No, like from work. I'm gonna take Friday off from work.
You should have kept going. You
From
should have
my
used
job.
that. You could have used that to make a switch episode 6.
I would have doubled down on my obsession then. I would have doubled it down.
Whoa. When I say
Joshi, any
take off,
requests?
I mean
Make the
from
what
my
scream
real
the
life
intro.
job that I have. This isn't my job yet.
You said the first thing.
No, you better keep working, you fucking wagey.
That sounds.
And my wages.
Before he's taking Friday off, maybe we should do the start of episode 6 today.
Listen, my wages let me suck you good and hard through your jorts. Good night, everybody.